Good morning, everyone. The Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee will come to order. The title of today's hearing is An Examination of State Efforts to Oversee the More Than $1.5 trillion Student Loan Servicing Market. According to the Federal Reserve, Americans owe over $1.5 trillion in student loan debt, an increase of over $100 billion since 2017. Students graduating from a four-year college in 2016.
I've heard numerous hearings about student loan and student loan issues. They approach the issue from different angles, but somehow nothing gets done and nothing happens. So it's frustrating. Something about the system is broken. It just seems unfair that even though, as I said, education seems to be the great equalizer, right now I just feel, it feels so unequal for me. All I wanted to do, I went to high school, I got good grades, I worked hard to get into a good college. I didn't fail out of college, I didn't party my way out of college. I just went there, got an education, made friends, made connections, did everything that they tell you to do by the book. But then it just cost me so much money. And I'm not saying that I regret the education that I received, because I don't. I think they were great years. But I feel like there has to be another way. There has to be a way where people like me don't have to suffer this much. When I'm coming home from work and seeing everybody kind of pass by, the families with their kids, I think about me and when that will be a possibility. I am 27 years old and I still have 16 years to pay in my loans because I have the 20-year repayment plan, which guarantees the lower payments, which are what I can afford right now. And this means that I'm gonna end up finishing paying my loans when I'm 42 years old. So that's not really when people wanna get their starter home. Also marriage, when will I get married? Me coming into like a situation with all of these loans would have an impact on my partner, so I would want to minimize that as much as possible whenever I decide to get married. And also kids are expensive, so if I'm paying like a small mortgage in loans, then how can I afford kids? And I would like to have kids and I would like to get married. The loans are something that definitely hangs over my head and kind of affects how I approach certain situations and how much I want to delay those big decisions. And that's not even what's on my mind right now. What's on my mind right now is more grad school. But if I think further ahead, then obviously all those fears creep in about now being able to do certain things that will be good for me and good for my family, like having a home, I owe about $90,000 in loans. I'm paying probably $850 as my monthly payment. And that is about a little less than a third of my salary. I mean, those earrings are nice, but they're for sure out of my budget. It's like $169 for a pair of earrings. That's too much, for sure. The other piece is that I have about $35,000 that are under my name. But the bulk of my loans is under Parent Plus loans, which are under my mom's name. In the time that I graduated college, my mom and my dad divorced. well, their family income kind of split in half, so she's making like enough for herself, but she's not able to do more. There's also like she has all of these loans under her name, so her credit is maxed out. I often think about like, okay, you know, in 2 years, if she ever wants to buy a house, what would that mean for her? My loans have an impact in her ability to buy a house. I feel guilt that because of the type of education that I wanted to get and because of the school that I wanted to go to, you know, she could potentially face financial burdens because of that. It's hard for me, and I'm sure it's hard for her, even though she doesn't talk about it.
Well, I feel awful. It's horrible knowing that I'm not able to help my daughter with those horrible loans. And she's a good kid. She's been working really hard. She's a good student. And not having the option to give her money or to help her to pay the debt is really bad. I feel bad.
I'm definitely not the only one in this situation. People in the States owe about $1.5 trillion in student loans. It's a huge problem. It's bigger than just me and me making quote unquote bad decisions. Even though this is the reality of things, in my heart I still think that young people, no matter what their background is, should be able to access the education that they want to access. Like, education should not be a bad thing. Like, me going to a good school should not be a bad thing.